Shellwalker, you guys are really close to this campsite.
Let me just go the other way.
Not okay with that, I'm gonna be honest.
I'm gonna go east.
Yep. Don't mind me.
So my character is a tiefling from the lineage of Barbatos, and who is constantly in disguise as a human, because
you're the only person that could do a like everyone has to do a human, right?
Because well, no, we have one character who's a dwarf, one character who's a gnome, one character who's an Aasimar, and one character who is a human but wants to be a Selkie, which is not a furry thing, I promise. Although it would make sense for a furry character to want to be like a beast race.
Oh, you're not. That's cool.
Whoa, so close, so close. That was close.
Wait. Oh, I am. Oh. Fuck. Is this it?
Yeah, no, it's the green one. One more. There we go. Grenade.
What? Oh, right.
Beep, beeps.
What am I? How do I do this again? Alright, I remember.
Just be careful.
Ow. I did it! I did the multiple arrow thing and it worked and it hurt him!
Right? It's sweet, isn't it?
I should put on my armor.
And actually, and again, this is based off of normal difficulty, so maybe it's, takes more on hard. But on normal difficulty, knocking 3 fire arrows is enough to set a snapball on fire all at once. Makes it killing them much faster.
Awesome! I should be on fire. Why are you
to be
not
fair, it makes
on
killing
fire
everything
and
much
also
faster.
dying?
Because you weren't using fire arrows.
I said I'm on fire before.
Oh, okay.
But just now.
Oop.
I missed that
You
time.
need help.
Oh, I don't have any more health though.
Oh shit. Do you have any health? You have full health.
Oh god!
Oh,
I think you're the one that was on fire.
Anyway, so my character is in hiding from her birth father because he wants to use the fact that I'm a tiefling to rise to a higher rank in the cult that I was raised in. And so that's why I'm in human disguise all the time. But Barbatos has come to me and been like, you know what, I'm not actually super thrilled with the way the cult's handling things, so if you do things basically like for me / with me, like I'll give you special like abilities through your blood lineage. And I'm like, I'm not super 100% down with that, because the fact that I have your blood in me has brought me nothing but grief, but, you know, we'll see. And then out of game, he and I have discussed beforehand which boons he'll grant me, and they're all like boons that I chose with the idea that that's probably what I would do in real life. You don't have any other potions, just the full health potions.
Oh no.
But
really? That was so much fucking damage.
it's because you're wearing your armor that doesn't have.
Well, I don't have ranged defense armor.
Oh, there you go. Anyway, so we came to this port city. And we're supposed to be in the port city for like maybe a week, and we're there just as an interim while the smuggler that's transporting us through the Elven lands gets like some extra supplies. And right as we're getting out of the port, we see that there's a slave market. And I'm a true neutral character. We have a chaotic good character, a lawful neutral character, and I think a neutral good character. So I turn to the only other character in the party that speaks Draconic, and because I'm trying to keep all the shit on the DL, and I'm like,
right,
we should kill all the slavers, like right off the bat. And she's like, sure, good, because you know we're both neutral, but neither of us are super down with slavery.
Well, yeah.
And so we concoct a plan. By we, I mean mostly me. Concoct a plan to you are about to die. When was the last time you saved?
At the nearest place, yeah.
So I concoct a plan to poison all the slavers at lunchtime.
Okay.
I go out at night, I buy some poison, secretly with money from the party bank instead of my own, because it's a plan we're all doing.
Yeah.
And then the plan is the next day, I sneak up and poison because they all eat from the same cauldron. I go up and sneak up and poison the cauldron, and then I go up to the roof. I'm a gunslinger.
Wait. They eat from the machine house?
What? Ha! Funny. Hilarious. And so the next day, the lawful good character and I don't remember the alignment of Nanner's character, but Android's character, I really don't. It's probably neutral good. And they go like actually free the slaves. The neutral, I think the lawful neutral character who is Tudrax either goes with them or like no, she hangs back waiting for the action to start because she's a cavalier, so there's no way for her to be sneaky because she's like always on her horse.
Right. So
me and Pudding's character, who is a sea witch, go to sneak in and find the cauldron. And while I'm trying to sneak up, she keeps failing her stealth rolls. So I'm like hiding really well behind a box, and she's noticed immediately and has to bail. So I'm like, well, fuck you. She's a sleep spell I was planning to use. And I'm like, well, you're useless to me. So she leaves. And while I'm working on this, the ones that are freeing the slaves, the one that's lawful good, which is Spoop's character, she prays to her god, which is Caden Kalen, who is super against slavery, so he's definitely going to help us out. She prays to him for help, so we're on a port, so he brings in this really thick fog, and that helps them, and it helps me sneak up to the cauldron, but after that, not so much, right? Because I need to be able to, I don't have blind sight, and I need to be able to see more than 5 feet in front of me to use my rifles effectively, because I'm more of a sniper. So I make it to the cauldron, I convince the, he doesn't take a lot of convincing. I convince the slave who's making the food to poison the cauldron and then, don't eat it. Yeah. And I slip him money and he misunderstands and thinks I bought him and it's a whole thing. But I leave before that can be resolved and I have no doubt it's going to come up later. He's going to be like, Master! And I'm going to be like, no.
I freed you, not...
Yeah, I order you to be free. So then I sneak up to the roof. And I don't know that the fog is religious based. I just know that the fog rolled in. Yeah. And so I'm sitting on the roof, aiming at. I can see from where I am. I can see the tops of the heads of all the slavers. And I'm.
Did you like shoot the slaves? Did you shoot the slaves in the head by accident?
I'm waiting to see. I'm hoping that the fog disperses as soon, like by the time they start to drop. Because if it doesn't, I'm gonna have to call in the backup, and I really don't want to. I want to avoid making deals with Barbatos if I can at all, because I feel like he wants something from me that I'm not willing to give. Yeah. But he hasn't given me any indication that he has, other than the fact that he's a fucking archdevil. Yeah. So I'm waiting. The slavers start to drop, and the poison doesn't kill them. It does a whole bunch of constitution damage, so they fall down and are easy to coup de grace. And so they start to fall, and the fog is not dispersing.
Ow! Nope.
I take a deep sigh, and I grab the pendant that Barbatos gave me last time we met, which is supposed to... It protects me from... Okay, I thought the game froze. Something that mercenaries my father has sent in the past do to suss out who I am, because I'm always in disguise, is that they can throw a sigil of Barbatos and it reacts with my blood. Okay. So he gave me a pendant that keeps that from happening. It suppresses the effect of my blood. So I grab that pendant and I'm like, alright, look, can I have a hand? Like... Yeah. But I'm clearly begrudged about it, and I hear in my head, of course, my child.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, oh, sweet. So this really fast wind comes through with these black feathers propelling inside of it, and it blows the fog away completely. Shit. Downside, the feathers are razor blades.
Oh, no.
And it also kills about half the town, and none of the slavers get hit by it. So I'm just, and I don't notice it kills half the town, because I'm very focused on, like, as soon as the fog clears out, we start shooting, and I kill about half the slavers with my rifles. By the time the cavalier shows up, she kills 3 or 4. The people who are freeing the slaves are, like, off doing their own thing. So by the time all the slavers are dead, I go down to where all the blood is of the slavers, and I write, in blood, slavery is bad. And then I go to where all the slaves were, where they've been freed, and I'm like, y'all are free. Have fun.
Get the fuck out.
Have fun. Not really focused on how to, like, help you guys. After that, that's you guys' problem.
Yeah, I've done my part, yeah.
And then I turn and I see that the city is in pandemonium. Riots. Because I accidentally killed half the town. Yeah. And nobody in my party except Spoop knows that I'm a tiefling. And so none of them have any reason to suspect that I had anything to do with this. Spoop has a pretty solid guess that it was me, and she's not really thrilled about it because she's a lawful good character.
But I mean, she gets it.
She's not down with the... Well, she doesn't know that it was an accident. So the DM's like, well, you guys can loot now, because the city's in pandemonium, and I'm like, normally I would be fine with that, but considering I accidentally killed all these people, I don't feel super great about that. So I just leave. I go back to our safe house, and go back up to my room and like barricade the door and just have a moment with myself. And Spook follows me. She's like, "What the fuck was that?" And I'm like, "That's not what I like. I clearly did not intend to kill half the town. I just wanted to kill the slavers." And I'm like super fucked up about it. And we just get crunk. But over the course of that night, Two Drax goes to. She's like, "Hell yeah, I'm gonna loot." So she goes and she loots, and she's a lawful neutral character, and
wait, how's she okay with looting then?
She gets caught, well, because it benefits her, and it's not, all the policemen are dead.
Okay, fair.
So so she's looting, because you know the people who own this stuff are dead.
Yeah.
In theory. So she gets caught looting by a guy who actually owns the stuff, and if she were adhering to her alignment and her morals, as soon as she gets caught, she'd be like, "Oh, this stuff is owned. Sorry, you can have it."
Yeah.
She kills him.
Oh no.
And the rest of us don't know about it because we all bailed.
Yeah.
And so that's the end of that day, and her alignment is changed to lawful evil.
How is that still lawful evil? That's still because you still want to abide by the law, wouldn't you?
She's more evil than lawful at this point, but we'll see what the DM wants to do later. So she is now lawful evil, but our lawful good character does not know, because if she did, she'd be not super okay with it. The whole point of that story was just the razor blade feathers.
That's pretty fucking intense, yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, I wish more people in my party were religious.
And then my character is specifically not religious, but keeps being dragged into it. And the boons that I'm taking, the switch off was that every time I take one, it makes my tiefling appearance harder to hide. So the disguise check to be disguised as a human gets higher and higher, and eventually it'll be high enough that it's impossible.
Not great.
So I haven't talked to him about this, but
hey, I found it.
One of the things, because the first boon I took just now, it made all my, like, where your veins normally are blue, they're black instead. But because you normally don't see people's veins anyway, especially not me, because I always have sleeves on, that's not super noticeable. But as it goes on, like, my horns will become a hard enough material that, because I keep them filed down completely to the nub.
I remember you talked about
they'll become a hard enough material that I can't file them away anymore. Presumably my teeth will get sharp, something like that. And eventually it'll be just impossible to be disguised. And I have to decide, do I want this boon now at the cost of making it harder to stay in hiding, or do I put it off but not take the boon? And none of them are super helpful in battle. They're all just things that I looked through the list of tiefling racial traits that you can take and wrote down like 5 or 6 that I think would fit with the way I live my real life. Yeah. So there's like the only one, so I could pick one to start out with, and then the rest I earn over the course. The one I started with is I can talk to birds. Okay. Of course.
Oh, gee, I wonder why. Yeah.
And then the other ones are like, you can eat and gain nourishment from ashes and dirt. You can drink and gain, because my appetite, the way I eat is bullshit. And then you can drink and gain nourishment from ashes and dirt. You don't need to sleep, but are not immune to magical sleep effects. And then the other one is, you are immune to magical sleep effects. And I think there's one more that I don't remember, but
I wonder if
the insomnia.
I wonder if I should make, because I didn't make Seraphine because she, because none of them had ever played D&D before, so I didn't like make her like pick a devil or demon.
I went into this whole thing.
Yeah,
my backstory is like 5,000 words.
See, so how about this?
English major.
I got. Oh god, is it like in the middle? Okay, it's past that. I'm gonna have to run the road over here, so I can take the road to try and dodge that sawtooth site. Although we had to get a heart from them later, but for starters, let's try to avoid all that and the campfire. But yeah, so it's like none of them had ever played D&D before, literally none of them. Had just like even spent a second in it, and I gave them all. I really wanted them all to have backstories, but I didn't like require them to write something out.
There's a book they can use to roll backstories.
Well, I mean, yeah,
it gives them actually. When you roll for the backstory, it gives you specific traits. Like,
well, yeah. So
touch someone to stabilize them.
Yeah, so they all have like. At least like I don't remember if it's in, they don't have everything, but like they all.
Fair, these are a Pathfinder and 3.5.
Yeah, like they all have like that when they got their background, they rolled like a bond, an ideal, a flaw, and a personal trait. For like so like they all have things like that. But then after they did that, I gave them all this list of 100 questions that I used when I built Kalsith, who is I know none of them ever listened to the show, but I still fear about talking about him at least because like he is such a big part of their campaign. Because I needed a BBEG that I knew very well.
A BBEG?
Big Bad Evil Guy.
Okay.
That I knew very well.
Oh, right.
you know, like had a lot of potential. So I was like, oh yeah, I know this one guy that has nothing but flaws in his backstory, and would totally, I don't know, destroy like all the divine, because he's kind of he doesn't realize that he's a terrible person. He's just driven by a few desires that may or may not will bring about like a pretty much another Sundering or Reckoning. But you know, that's just life. That's just life. But, yeah, I'm fine. I'm over it. It's fine. It's chill. It's chill. No one even sees me.
You're not wearing your stuff.
I know. I'm not. Because I wasn't trying to be. I'm just trying to get to where the fuck this tall neck is. Where the fuck is this tall neck? Seriously. Oh, that's a big drop.
I found it. Making like antenna noises.
Hey, I found it.
Run, no, you could have made it. You could have made it. Yeah! Woo! The fastest we've ever landed on a tall neck ever. Yeah, that way.
All right, later, losers. But
you just
so
get like lasered off.
Oh my god.
Die from the fall.
Like cut to like a stalker, just like, what was that bitch? Like on top of the mountain.
On top of the tall neck.
Fucking like
bats you off like a cat.
Fucking like Mufasa style with a little watcher next to him. Like this will be yours one day.
Long live the king.
Oh god. But so like since none of them had ever done anything, I did these rolls with them, and then I gave them all this 100 questions that they could do. 2 of them out of the 6 players, 2 did their like made a whole backstory for them. The rest were all just like, yeah, whatever. I'm from here, and just going with it. So I didn't like have any of them. Like I didn't have Seraph like, cool. So you have no idea what's happening in the world. You didn't read the handbook, even though I gave you guys Peter and I told you to do it. You didn't do the questions.
You might get pushed off because you keep falling back every time the head goes up.
No, I think this is here to
you get
catch
hit by,
me.
Yeah, you get stopped there.
But so
skill point.
I didn't have her, go and look to see like, oh hell yeah, 3. Definitely this, yeah. It was very much worth a while. So I didn't have her, but I might now that we've been playing for a while. And they still have no idea anything about the game world, to be fair.
Well, that's their own fault.
Yes, it is. I might have her because listening to you talk about it, I was like, yeah, I could have a lot of fun with like her, archdevil, like, yeah, showing up.
And if she doesn't pick, you can. I
can just have her not know.
Well, you can. Well, it's entirely possible that she wouldn't, because it takes so long for tieflings to be born after the union of an archdemon in the past, like several generations. Oh, well, there's another one.
Have I done that?
Doesn't look like it. I don't see any markers around it. Which one is it?
Shit. Okay, so I feel like I've. It's not that one.
No, because if you had it, there'd be a trader and stuff next to it.
Oh shit! Well,
off you go.
Into the wild blue sky, into the sea.
Into the wild blue yonder.
Thank you.
Anyway, tieflings are born so many generations after the initial thing that it's entirely possible for them to not know.
Yeah, and also, I mean, she was raised. Like, she's the monk. She's the district monk. Yeah.
Yeah.
So easy for her to be
if you made her pick which physical traits manifest, though, usually each one is tied to a specific archdemon.
Yeah, she is.
Although again, this is all Pathfinder.
Well, yeah, but there is stuff like that.
They might be different.
And I do know. Like, I mean, I've forgotten most of what I knew about 3.5, like, intricately.
The
but I do remember.
Might be different in 5, but it's still the same kind of thing. And you could also just look through and pick which one you think would be most fun. Which one is most opposed to whatever path in life she's taking.
Yeah, like, let's see, neutral good monk from a monastery. Gee, I wonder.
And it doesn't have to be an archdevil. It can be any. It can be an archdevil, a demon, like all the way up to the big bad, like Satan himself.
Asmodeus, yeah.
Yeah. Asmodeus.
But he's already involved in their story through a different thing, so I could bring him in with that. Yeah. And that he is one of the people that Kalsith, when he and his best friend Peneba, when they learned Infernal, because they wanted, because I mean, like in like, I think even in 3.5 they had already like blocked off spells above like 9th level for the most part, and of course as Kalsith and Peneba were just like wizards, they were like, we want to learn all the magic. Like, well, how do we get past this block they have in the weave? And so they happened to find some tomes on Infernal and in Infernal, and so they learned Infernal, and they happened to be like, well, Asmodeus can cast any magic ever in his realm, so he must know some way to get past any blockings that the Divine have on types of magic.
Right.
So if we just ask him, and then the people might have found out, including some cultists, that they were doing that, so they might have killed his best friend, and then he might have been expelled from Silvery Moon if he went back, they'd kill him. But so, like maybe, he and Asmodeus already has some sort of deals, and he's learning him to learn more about magic, and he's doing favors for him. Anyways, yeah, so, I was gonna say, like, this could be a good way for me to, like, kind of put this like whole like dilemma on her part where it's like, yeah, so you know, Asmodeus, turns out he's
your great granddaddy.
And so, you know, like, yeah, you're a neutral good person, and the party's like kind of trying to stop Cassius from doing all this, but he's kind of calling in your blood, like, hey, help him, and I'll give you all this stuff, and I'll make your monastery.
Yeah, if you actually ran into Asmodeus, that'd be a little imba, but it'd be like if they ever come across like a shrine of Asmodeus that they have to destroy, then she could roll a will save to not be not commanded, because that wouldn't be fair, but
yeah,
to,
but
but to be able to ignore like
charm,
like
or something
especially
by
because she has no idea, so she walks in and immediately she hears, I feel your blood, my child, like something like that, and she'd be like, what, what,
ooh, yeah, like in this, and with where they're going, oh shit, yep, new hunting grounds. Well, look at that. Where the fuck are other? I feel like there has to be another hunting ground then that I haven't done. Like in that top left area. All right.
Yeah, it could be. Oh, right.
There you go.
I'm selling stuff.
Probably.
I've actually thought if I ever DM a campaign,
you should. I'd play in it and then be terrible.
I think it would be, since in the trilogy, the character that turns out to be someone else has canonically been alive for like thousands of years.
I recall, yeah.
I thought it would be interesting because she's done like so much. It would be entirely reasonable for her to have tried different planes of existence to solve this problem as well. So I always I want to have like an unnamed character show up, like just to do a menial thing, not something big, but with her physical appearance, like in anything that I DM.
Oh yeah, you're talking about
like,
but that she would just
like she in the course of her quest, the main characters come across her because she's trying to do something else entirely.
Yeah, and it would be like like she's done would have like ramifications.
She just does
for, like
centuries. She just does a thing, right? And it'd be interesting, like then like for a million years from now, if the trilogy ever gets finished, somebody would be like, oh, does she have any other stories? And I'd be like, actually, she's been in every D&D campaign I've ever put together. Just remember that. Same with like short stories. I always thought it would be like any short story that takes place in almost any universe. Yeah, like she could technically exist as a like a background character.
Actually, so I have two of these now. One is related to The Witcher, and then one is with just like traversing planes. We're gonna go to the bathrooms when I get back. I'll make sure I don't forget to talk about that.
45.
You wish you had the balls to fire back. Say hello to the bad guy. They say I'm a bad.
Alright, so I had two things. One was about The Witcher. I mean, this isn't really a spoiler. It's just Ciri in Witcher 3. If you read the book, she's
Ciri,
Geralt's daughter.
Ciri, like the Apple iPhone. Can't believe she's in the game.
Yep, that's it exactly.
Way to move up in the world, Ciri.
Yeah, she's really doing a lot for herself. But so she travels through a lot of planes, like as a whole this whole thing. And there's one comment she makes about when she was in a world with like cars and shit. And so a common theory is that she will somewhere, and because CD Projekt Red, the people that did this, also are making I can't remember the name of it, Cyberpunk 2099 or something.
Yeah, Cyberpunk 2021 or something like that.
Yeah.
I think 2099.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Which looks
sweet.
Yeah,
and so a common theory is that she'll be like a cameo somewhere in that because she can travel the planes and everything in different universes.
Cool.
And then also with the campaign, I actually, when I was in the bathroom, because I'm going to talk about this, I sent a note which said, okay, look, I know that none of you have ever listened to the show, probably never will, but I'm saying that right now you 100% are not allowed to listen to this playthrough because it's going to be riddled with spoilers for our campaign. I'll be very mad at you if you do this. But so...
you'll just have to get through really fast because they have to start at the beginning.
Yeah, get through this really fast. Yeah. With my group, yeah. What are we doing in the game?
I'm getting a...
Selective heart?
Yeah.
Sweet! So the whole like current campaign that they're in, which I don't even know how long this will take, because it's a very like it's a very like sandboxy, like you guys are level 5, 6 now. You're moving up in the world. You no longer do like small petty things. Like now you guys are gonna be bigger and better. You're gonna be involved in more than just like this one mine. And now it's like, you know, small factions will rely on you guys. So they're going to this place called the Moonshade Isles, which Nimwe's like a princess of. They're going there to find a way to revive their friend. And even if they don't want to, huh?
Is Nimue the tiefling?
No. Nimue is a Ganassi. It's like this elemental.
I know what it is.
Yeah. So she is a Ganassi noblewoman. Seraphine is the tiefling monk.
Gotcha.
Veril Alderin is his name. Is Bry's new character, who is a moon elf wizard.
Oh right, the one who died.
Yeah.
Are they trying to revive his old character?
Yeah. Which I like. She's fine with, and I'm fine with because I already have a plan for him if he ever does come back to life. As a cleric of Umberlee that is very upset that he was let die by his party. Totally knows what happened. He was already a chaotic evil pirate with a goddess that is chaotic evil of the seas. So he's gonna have a lot to do. Probably not involving the party directly, but maybe later on he'll get sucked into it. It depends on how things go in the Moonshine Isles. And then there is Silverwinter, the human fighter who gets into so much trouble because he's roleplayed either terribly or incredibly well. As I have no idea if Muggsy's doing it on purpose or not. Rolf,
maybe Muggsy doesn't even know.
Yeah, Rolf Gegenuber, the dwarf rogue that causes most of the trouble for the party in a broad sense. And then Yurizita, who last name I forget all the time because no one ever uses it. Who is the Dragonborn Ranger. And so they're going to the Moonshine Isles to find Kalsith, who is known to be there by Veril, who since with all the stuff that happened to the gods, it's really hard to raise the dead now. Very few have the power to do it, and Kalsith only has it because he has a ritual book and he has tomes like that, and Resurrection is one of those. And so he's going to, if they ever get to him and convince him to help them, he'll give them a scroll of resurrection and cool, now get out of my way, I have things to do. He's a level 15 wizard right now in the game. You can do a lot of stuff. But so in the whole broad campaign is that Baba Yaga, one of her 3 horsemen, named Bright Day, is the one that's the center of this campaign. He often does things to show to honor her and to remind everyone of how important she is. And so what he's doing is he's raising this huge banner. He's aiming to have a legion or 2 beneath this banner to honor Baba Yaga through the material mortal plane. And he starts in the Moonshine Isles because there's this one island that's the Fey Lands where they reside for the most part. And the whole story for the Moonshine Isles is that since he showed up, it's not great for the people in charge when a horseman of one of the most powerful, non-divine, but just beings in the multiverse shows up on your set of isles and starts gathering all the people that you can never control under one banner, and then rolling through villages where if you don't join, you're crushed by the banner, because everyone has to know that Baba Yaga don't fuck around. So it's not great for the people that are there. And also since the Kendrick family that Nimue belongs to doesn't control all the isles anymore because when the second Sundering happened, all the gods fell. This elf faction of Sarafil that was on one of the islands in the Feylands took over the island, and so that's where so it just a lot of political problems for the group. But at the end of the campaign, almost certainly, the players will have to take a force they've assembled and then go find Bright Day and his force of people that are about to leave the Moonshine Isles or take over one of the islands. And then, stop him, because Kalsith's whole goal is that he made a deal with the High Lady Ordolf of the elves, which has been around for millennia, that, if he gets rid of Bright Day for them, she will show him, a way to tap into the weave to access, higher, to get this one spell that he really wants to cast, but he can't find a way to do it.
Okay.
But she knows how. Or she knows how to get the power to cast the spell, but she doesn't know the spell. He does, and he just can't do it.
Gotcha.
So the whole plan is so he helps her with Bright Day problem, and they get that, and then the party wants from him Resurrection, and then Veril wants to learn how to do blade singing from him, because Kalsith, his mother was a moon elf, and so he's one of 4 people that are alive on the mortal plane that know how to do that.
Okay.
And so the whole thing is they do it with Kalsith, and the battle with Bright Day, even I expect they'll be around level 10 when they're done with the campaign, which is still nowhere near strong enough, just from the force they have assembled. He alone is a level 16 fighter, so he's very powerful. That's why only one of the 3 horsemen can exist on the mortal plane at one time, or else the universe would be shattered, which is bad.
What? No, nonsense.
And so he's very powerful, and so the whole point is they go into the fight, they help out everything, and then since Kalsith knows they're the mortal plane, he's powerful there, but Kalsith can pull this to his advantage on the elemental plane as a Ganassi. So when the whole purpose of the fight is when they're doing the whole fight against everybody, Kalsith at some point is if everything goes the way that I expect it will, because there's a lot of room for error for this, but so long as he's alive in the fight and on their side somewhat, then when they're fighting Bright and everybody, he'll be cool, so they're helping weaken him, get very far away from me, I'm going to teleport him and these people to the elemental planes to kill them there, or just to make Bright Day retreat home.
So you,
because here we're just not that's not gonna happen. But if the party is stubborn and does not agree to that, then they're gonna get stuck to the elemental plane, where they have no way of getting home if Kalsith does not help them, or if he dies in the fight, because he totally might. Where Nimue, she hates her dad because she's a Ganassi. Her father was a water spirit, and she has no idea what happened to him. He's actually been seeking her her entire life because she has a lot of power in her, and he wants to absorb that to become the strongest water spirit. So if they go to the end of the plane, he's gonna be like, "What?" and then just roll up with a bunch of water spirits, and then just be like, "I'm gonna need to absorb all of you, thanks." So I'm looking forward to the party being stubborn, because of course they are, and then not running when he does the plane shift spell, and then they're sitting out of the planes and the airfields, and it's like, yeah, so you have you know that this force is seeking you. You have no idea why, though. You should maybe get that out of here before a bunch of water spirits roll up in the Air Kingdom, like, hey, yo, where that water ganassi at? We know she's here.